What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about helium today, HNT. This one comes to us at the request of Mr. GC320. GC, this one's for you. And for everybody else who's watching. This one, we're just doing this because GC requested it. If you want to do a request for yourself, you have a stock, a coin, a commodity like gold or silver or uranium or whatever, I don't care. If it's something I can chart, I will chart it. Just leave a comment. I'm more than happy to do it, you guys. But today, we are talking about helium. I've heard of helium. I don't know too much about it. Actually, I would say that I don't know anything about it, really, other than what the chart is presenting right now. I can say that it likes to go down. Not encouraging. Definitely not encouraging. But on KuCoin, which isn't the biggest exchange in the world, but it's still a pretty big crypto exchange, especially for altcoins, I do like this volume coming in at the all-time low. It looks like you got a double bottom here. And what you've been doing is moving down, yes. And yes, you still have a lower high, sure. But you're moving sideways now. You've been moving sideways basically since the beginning of the year, right? I mean, arguable even since a little bit last year, but really since this time. You've never had a stint this long where you moved sideways. So things are a little different. That's encouraging to see. Looking at the monthly time frame, not a whole lot to go off of. So we're going to look at the weekly. And talking about things being different, look at this RSI, man. You are at the strongest points on this chart's history. And I'm using KuCoin because I could not find a chart that has more historical data, right? I used Coinbase. I know crypto has one, but there's no volume there. I mean, this thing's existed longer than 2021. I looked at it over here, and it's been around since April of 2020, at least as far as that goes. So I couldn't find anything with that. But KuCoin, as far as I know, has the most historical data. So I'm going to use that one. And again, up this week about 29%. That's nice. Let's see. Doing good. You're even up, or you're down a little bit today, whatever. But I mean, you went up. That's nice to see. Yesterday, man, there were a couple coins that went up yesterday. Flexcoin was one of them. XDC and Helium apparently. You topped off at the 1414. Totally normal area to top off around. The 1272, 1414, the 1618. Totally normal. Likely, what you would do if you want to see continuation, you want to keep going higher. What you would do is you would bounce off of this 886 area. The 786 area, which is anywhere from around $1.94 to $1.88, somewhere in there. You could very well bounce between these lines, or you could go a little bit lower even and bounce somewhere between the 6.9 and the 6.18 as well, which would be around $1.77 to $1.82. Let's say $1.78 and $1.82. Really, to kind of make it like sound nicer and sweeter, right? The area that I would look for this thing to go bounce at would be anywhere from about $1.78 to $1.94, somewhere in that range. Probably, likely, in my opinion, toward the lower one of the two, and that's okay. It can do that and be totally fine. Let's see, top to bottom here. Yeah, man, wow, look at this thing. You're just showing some good respect on these fibs. Topped off on the 1618 here, from this top to this bottom, literally tipped it. You came back down and you actually went a little bit below the 786 here, which is very common to do, and then you continued further. That's kind of what I'm expecting us to do now, right? Is we're going to go probably a little bit lower below the 786, maybe even down to the 618 area, but again around like 194 to 178, and then from there continue to go higher. If we're looking at this thing on a weekly basis, I didn't use the weekly chart because it is kind of a little bit not wonky, it's just there's not a whole lot to go off of. But if we were to use this top here and use that bottom there, wow, we tipped right off at the 618. I'm using this bottom because this was a slightly lower low. This, in my opinion, I don't know. It just depends. Like you could use this one. It's showing the same respect, more or less, right? Like basically the same respect. I don't know. I feel more comfortable using this bottom over here, and just personally, you tipped off the 0.5 there. Man, something over here must make my nose itch, because my nose doesn't itch until I make these videos, man. I don't know what it is. But you came down, found support on the 236, then you moved up to the 618. That's actually a very common maneuver to make. And, you found resistance on it, whatever. What you'd really like to see is the next time that you come up, you'd like to break above this. You really would. And if you break above this, you can go straight to these extensions. You might break above it and chill for a little bit and then go. But what you wouldn't want to see is to find another rejection off of this 618, 69 area. You wouldn't want to see that. You'd want to break this and hopefully find support or go higher and find support on one of these areas up here. And if you do, Mr. Helium Coin, you are likely going to see prices go up to about $4.69 to $6.90, somewhere in that range, right? And you like the 1618, you like the 1-for-1-4, so I would actually be more inclined to believe that you don't stop here. You probably do go above $5, and with the potential even to go all the way up toward like $6.90, maybe even above that. You could even keep going further, but I bet somewhere around there. Then you take a break, you come back down to these areas. This previous, look at that, the 886, 786 area. You're at the previous like topping range over here. Find support there, and then continue to build from there. That to me would make sense. And then beyond that, in the more immediate kind of term, you would like to see. Let's see. I mean, yeah, with this look alone, man, you see kind of how what I was just talking about, how you want to see it on the second pass. You came up, broke above it on the first pass. You came down on the second pass. You're building higher. I very much would expect that you do go to these extensions here first, and you will see deeper extensions too. The 2618 is actually right in this little square that I drew, so whenever you get smaller retracement measurements, that's whenever you see those deeper extensions come into play. Looking at the RSI. Looking at the RSI on the daily, man, I'm not picking my nose, guys. My nose just really itches for some reason over here. I don't know what it is. I've noticed that in my past few videos. You do have bearish divergence presenting itself on the daily. That's okay. I definitely would expect that you go around $1.80, if not lower, actually, just based on that alone, which lines up with that first area that I was talking about retracing to. Very normal stuff. It's okay. You probably do go down, but overall, man, look at this. Look at how beautiful this RSI is, right? You got your lows here, you got your higher lows. You're kind of in this ascending like channel almost. You could come all the way back down here and then continue to go up higher. Like that's okay. That's totally fine. And I do think you do that, man. You're doing things that you've never done before with the weekly RSI. You are showing strength that you've never seen before. Maybe on the weekly you come back down to the 50, find support there, and then go higher. You could even go below the 50. That's okay. That's totally fine. I like this thing. I do think it wants to go up higher. I don't know too much about it. Let's go look at the tokenomics of it. Okay. So it's got $289 million market cap with a full dilution of about $448 million. So it's probably like 60% diluted right now. I would assume that most of this is locked up because of the developers or the DAO or the miners or like whoever's participating in it, the stakeholders, the people staking it. That's probably why these are locked up. I would assume that these coins aren't locked up because of some kind of massive rug pull that's going to be planned, although it could be. I do like to see that the max supply is not infinite on this thing, though if it was infinite, that's not a big deal. Oh man, let's look at it actually. Let's look. I didn't want to do this, but let's see. White paper. Helium Network white paper. Oh, it's an Internet of Things token. Okay. Decentralized wireless network that enables devices everywhere in the world to wirelessly connect the internet and blah, 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 blah. It's the same thing as everything else. Key components. The Helium Network is built around the following key components. Proof of coverage. Ooh, I've never heard of that. I've heard of proof of work and proof of stake and proof of whatever, but proof of coverage I've never heard. We present a computationally inexpensive proof of coverage that allows miners to prove that they are providing wireless network coverage. We anchor these proofs using a proof of serialization that allows miners to prove they are accurately representing time relative to the others in the network on a cryptographically secure way. That's interesting. It's a little bit different. I like it. So most of the coins are locked up to be mined. That's what I'm getting out of this here. Device, miner, or router. Yeah, so the people processing the transactions are getting it. I don't know a whole lot about this, but I kind of like the way that it sounds, if I have to be honest. I think it's kind of nice. It's different. It's similar. It's same, but different, Yeah, some of this stuff is out of my realm of vocabulary, or at least of understanding, but that's okay. If anybody knows more about this and they can clear up some stuff for me, that'd be really cool. You can leave it in the comments if you have a better understanding of this thing. But let's see. Proof of coverage is an innovation that proof allows miners to prove that they are providing wireless network coverage. W in a specific region or challenge, or C proof of coverage. Interesting, man. Very interesting. So how is this thing mined? It's mined just through providing coverage of the net. Like, I would assume that you still process transactions the same way. Like, you have a hash rate and everything. You're solving problems to complete the transaction, but maybe not. I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to read more into this besides just taking up your guys' time while I'm doing it. But it's kind of interesting. Kind of interesting for sure. I think this thing could have a bright future. You know, you are ranked 119 in crypto. You've been around for a little bit. You know, you've seen most of this bear market right now, so you've already lived through your first bear market, and you're still alive, man. You're still in the top 200. So this thing does have 100x potential in it. If it was to 100x from its current price, that would put it at about a $30 billion market cap, which is very high. For most things, it's very high, but it's achievable. In crypto, we've seen that happen throughout several coins. Most of the top 100 coins in the midst of this bull market will probably have an over $10 billion market cap. So is a 100x possible for this thing? It absolutely is. Will it happen? I don't know. You know, there's really not a whole lot of data to go off of on this chart. All I can say for sure is I would bet money. If I could bet money on this thing, I would bet that it definitely goes above $6.90. I do think that you do see prices. Man, you could even see, what would that be? What would that be? Let's see. So yeah, a 10x is probably very likely, I would say, in this bull market. Are you going to break your all-time highs? I don't know. Maybe. I would hope so. That would be nice to see. If you do, you know, the 4618's up here, we're getting into some deeper extensions. These aren't always practical to use, but I don't know if you're going to get a 1000x, but somewhere, if you were to get a 100x, you're definitely going to be above $100. You'd be at $198 if you got 100x from the current price of $1.98. So that's totally possible. That's in the cards, but you got a lot of work to do before then, man. This is where I would use HNT USD. Go to crypto because it's got more data. So this was the top here. We go to the current bottom here. You want to break above $12.60, above this previous high here. If you can break above that on your first pass, great. If it takes 2 passes to do it, fine, whatever. But get above that, and then likely we would see these extensions come in. The 100x would actually be a minimum expectation. And the 100x is going from the current price. Could this thing go lower in the meantime? Sure. It'll probably go lower in the meantime. But where will it go? Again, I think it's going to go anywhere from about, I think I said 94 cents to 75 cents. What was it? Oh, I'm sorry. $1.94 to $1.75, if I remember correctly. Maybe it was $1.52. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of the last coin that I did. I'm sorry. I might be getting my numbers mixed up. I'm sorry, guys. Let me see here. Just to make it more concise and clear, I think that we are probably going to have a retracement back down to around $1.72. Yeah, okay, so $1.72. We could even go to $1.46. That's possible, but I would more likely say around $1.72 to $1.97, somewhere in there. It's like a 20-cent, 25-cent range that I'd give it, right between this green line and this yellow line here. That's my my genuine opinion. Looking at, oh no, it was this coin. Okay, I remember, because I was looking at this fib extension that we're using. No, wrong one. I'm sorry. Right here. Top. Come on. All right, whatever. I'm gonna use the daily. Top. Come on. There we go. Top to bottom. Top to bottom. I would say, yeah, somewhere around $1.94, $1.95 to potentially $1.67. That was the original range. That's right, between the 886 and the 618. So somewhere in there. Potentially you go lower, but I would very much, like with the high likelihood, say that you do end up not at the top of this bubble, not at the base of this bubble, but somewhere in between. That's where you find your next low. It'll be a higher low. You would probably even maintain the structure still, and then off to new highs for you go. The real high to watch for, the real area that you want to find a break and not be held up by too much is up here at about, all the way up here at about $12.40. You'd really like to get above that. If you can do that, then this thing won't just 10x from here. It will likely 100x from here. You probably will see prices that are well above $150. So that's what I got for you. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to see more. I don't really have anything else that I want to add to this. Wow, man. Yeah, strong. Very strong RSI. I can't, yeah, man. That's very nice to see. Very, very strong. Look at how parabolic that is. You might not go lower, man. You really might not, honestly. Like, this is a very parabolic trend that you're in. Maybe you only go to like $1.93 and then up from there. Pretty bearish candle right there, though. Let's go back. I want to go back on little bonus in here, you guys. I know I said I was done, but I'm not. Yeah, man, this, I don't know, man. You really could just keep going. It might not go lower because this does look kind of parabolic on a shorter term time frame. The RSI is strong, bro. On the 1 hour, on the 4 hour, very strong looking. So, is it due for a little bit of a downtrend? Sure, but in these kind of movements, man, you don't get in the way of this. You know, it really could keep going higher. This thing might be winding up for a very big move to the upside, actually. So it might not. It might go to the lows that I was talking about in the beginning of the video. But I like the 4 hour RSI and the 1 hour, and those aren't too significant, right? The daily and the weekly are much more significant, but there's not a whole lot to go off of as far as that goes. Yeah, the 1 hour. I guess the 1 hour on KuCoin doesn't look as good, but the 4 hour looks really good, man. And the daily looks, I mean, you look good. You could go back, come back down to this area here right at the overbought zone where the stash line is, bounce off of there and continue. That would actually be very classic if you want to maintain this kind of parabolic trend upwards. But you can break out of it and everything will still be fine. I'm really not worried about this thing. Sure, you're below the 50 on the long-term RSI and you're above the purple line, but you found support on it. You look good, man. You look really good. So I very much do doubt that you go below the 618 of this range here from top to bottom. I very much doubt that you go, if you were to go below it too much lower than that. Oh, is that the right one to use? I'm sorry. I'm using the wrong one. The 618 of this range over here. Over here. And I'm just rambling at this point. You guys have already seen this before, so I'm just going to be drawing the same stuff that I've been drawing for the last I don't know how many minutes, but yeah, somewhere around 165. I doubt that you go lower than that, honestly. If you do, not too much lower, but somewhere there. You might not even make it down there. Maybe you go to the 786 at around $1.83. Maybe you bounce right off the 886. It's very common, honestly, to find support on the 886 whenever you're reaching for these extensions. So, and the 786, but the 886 more often. So look for that. And yeah, this is one to pay attention to for sure. I think this thing has big things in store as far as price growth goes for the coming bull cycle. So if you like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.